Hello everyone, that Ukrainian FM guy here. Welcome back to my series about FM24 saves. This time we're going across Europe, we're going to Germany. Today I've got 8 big teams in the 2 Bundesliga, and we're going to give you a guide on why you should do a save with one of these 8 teams. Germany is one of the optimal places if you want to get a sleeping giant, get them to the top, because the 2 Bundesliga honestly has more big clubs than the Bundesliga does these days. It's quite crazy what you can see, and we're going to go through these 8 teams I've picked out as big giants in the 2 Bundesliga. Let me explain what's going to make them interesting to do a save with and why they're such a big club. So let's kick things off with Schalke. So Schalke, a famous story. They're a very historic team. As you can see, they've been in the Bundesliga for ages until recently. Recently, they went down because of financial mismanagement. Going from all the way from finishing in second in 2018, from winning 7 Bundesligas to this, 117 million euros in debt. Schalke has more debt than I do, and I'm a college student in America. Isn't that crazy to think about? So much debt. 65 million here as well to deal with. This team is broke. You're going to have no money. You're going to have basically a lot of income though, but it's all going straight to that debt. So they give you $1 million to spend, which is optimistic, but only 10% of players that you sell will be going to that transfer budget. So you got a lot of work to do. However, what's good about Schalke, as you can see, big fan base. One of the biggest fan bases in all of Germany because of their history. As you can see, their team is quite good. Now, they're struggling in real life, but they're projected to finish in fourth according to the season preview. So your team is quite good in FM. You got players like Ralph Baumann. People, he's a bit past the prime nowadays, but he's still here. This is a good team. There's a lot to work with. A big squad. You could try to sell a couple of players, I'm sure. Now, of course, you have young talent. Look at this. Emil Højlund. Bang. Oh, boom. You put him in the main team. You got Phil Kelper. Get him out of this team right now. Bang. So this is a very good team. You're going to have young talent coming in. As you can see, the facilities are very strong, as most German facilities are. But you have a problem with that debt. So your challenge is, can you overcome the Schalke debt? Can you bring them back to the Bundesliga? Can you manage this? Can you get them those titles like they used to win back in the day? So number 2, we got Hamburger, or HSV. So HSV got Stefan Kuntz as the director of football. Fantastic name. As you can see, this is another very historical team. So many years spent in the Bundesliga, Champions League winners in 1983, but they find themselves in the second tier of Germany. So now Hamburger has been a bit iconic because they have failed promoting themselves so many times. Every single time they've bottled it because, as you can see, 4th, 3rd place finishes. They've been so close, but something towards the end of the season just collapses and they fail to promote themselves. So they're stuck here in the 2 Bundesliga. It looks like they could be stuck again in real life, but they're up and abouts like they always are. Now, Hamburger probably has the best team in the second Bundesliga. As you can see, they're second favorites only to Köln, but it's very close. Now, the team is good. Financial-wise, they're much better than Schalke. You have 4.5 million to spend and 70k in wages, plus actual money positives in the bank account. You do have some debt, but it's not quite as bad as Schalke. It's half of that. And some of this gets paid off much quicker. As you can see, in a few years, it's gone. So you have more to work with. But what is not as good here is the youth in those facilities. So you have excellent training, great youth, and average recruitment. As you can see, if we look at the youngest players here, ignore that. There's a couple of them, but it's not quite as strong as Schalke. So you have to rely more on your first team. But yeah, you also have players like Mario Vuskovic suspended until, well, that's not accurate. He should be suspended for longer than that, I think, in real life. I could be wrong. So your challenge is, can you get to stop the rot at Hamburger? Can you stop them from bottling promotion? Can you get them to the top? And can you get them winning the Bundesligas once again? Winning those Champions League titles like they used to. Next up, we got Hertha Berlin. Hertha Berlin, another catastrophe recently because they've been in the Bundesliga for ages. They had this bit of a yo-yo phase, so relegation was more on the cards for them than the likes of Schalke or Hamburger. But still, it comes as a surprise because in 2017, this is a European spot, and all of a sudden they recently got relegated because of financial mismanagement again. So, as you can see, 2.5 million, 80K in wages, 6 million. It's not that bad. Debt-wise, it's pretty bad. You have 90 million in debt that's going to need to get paid off, so that projection is probably going to be looking quite bad for you. How much revenue do you make? Oh, 100% of transfer revenue. Okay, so it's not as bad as I thought. But yeah, here we got another big team, huge fan base like the others. As you can see, 75,000 capacity stadium. A lot of fans are going to be coming into the Olympiastadion Berlin. And your team is not bad. You're projected to be up there. They expect top half, which is very generous, honestly, because you're the third best team and you have money to spend. So I feel like you can get promoted first season. But even if you don't, you have some room to work with. They'll be flexible with you. So this is one of the more chill options compared to the other two. Less pressure, for sure. Squad-wise, as you can see, it's not that big. You have a couple of young players here. You got the Dardai still here, I think. There's Martin, one of their key players. There's Palco, so... And of course, if you remember, their coach is also Dardai, but he's now... I don't think he's the coach in real life anymore. I could be wrong. And we'll have to click through that again. As you can see, young players here, as you can always expect. Is this an English player? No, he's German. That's pretty cool. So yeah, very strong team. Can you get them promoted from the 2 Bundesliga and back up to the top? Big club number 4, recently relegated FC Cologne. One of my favorite badges ever. As you can see, we have the GOAT from the city of Cologne. The beautiful Cologne Cathedral. I want to see that in real life so badly, but hey. This team, once again, historical club, big fan base, stuck in the 2nd tier right now. 3-time Bundesliga winners. It's been a while, but as you can see recently, they've been up in the Bundesliga, and just now they got relegated once again. I don't know, they apparently got relegated after finishing 11th, but that's just a database fail. They definitely finished near the bottom. But as you can see, the team is probably the best in the division. You have a lot of players too. You have money to work with. You can sell some of those players, 90K in wages, 3.5 million. It's there, but it's not terrible. But you do make a lot of money from stuff in Germany. So, as we can see, the club vision is to get automatic promotion. So you can't fail, and you do have to break even in the transfer market due to that debt, most likely. Werner Wolf, great name. So yeah, they expect you to be in the Bundesliga and making top half finishes quite quickly, as they should for a club of their size. So can you get the GOATs back up there and make them the best team in Germany, the GOAT of Germany? Next up, we got FC Kaiserslautern, another huge club, recently in the Bundesliga. As you can see, they finished 7th in 2010, but it has been a long time. They have not been up there for a while. They got relegated right after finishing 7th. They finished bottom. And as you can see, they've been even as slow as the 3rd tier of Germany. So stuff has not gone right for a team that has won a Bundesliga in 1998 recently, and they won the Pokal in 1996. So this is a big team. They have historical success, but yet they've been kind of stuck down here. It's not been great. In real life, they're doing okay this season, but I don't know if they're going to get promoted or not. As you can see, the team is not terrible. You have a lot of players kind of close to their prime, but not very large amount of oldies. They expect you to avoid a relegation battle, which is very generous, I would say, because as you can see, your team is mid-table. So you should be doing way better than that. It'd be surprising if you're in a relegation battle. As we can see here, Club Vision, this says become an established Bundesliga team, so that's interesting. But that's about the same thing, just don't get relegated. Now there is one interesting TED mark here. You gotta decide players that are German. So your challenge if you take over Kaiserslautern is try to follow those requirements, and you sign players only from Germany or from German nationality. So you have that kind of restriction. The other teams, I don't believe, had that. I didn't notice that. So your finances aren't bad. You have no debt, I don't think, yet. A very small amount of debt. So you're financially better than the other teams. But if you want to get a challenge, you limit yourself to signing players of a certain nationality, and that can make things interesting for those experienced FM players that want some more transfer practice, So Kaiserslautern, another fantastic pick if you want to do a sleeping giant save in Germany. So next up we got Hannover 96. Hannover 96, as you can see, has been in the Bundesliga for ages. First relegation came around here in 2016, bounced straight back up. Then they went back down in 2019, and they've been kind of stuck in the bottom half or mid-table of the two Bundesliga for a long time. Completely unacceptable for a club of their size. As you can see, big reputation, 49,000-seater stadium, good facilities, great training, good youth. They have good young players here. I need to keep remembering to skip that. Not as good as some of the other leagues, or excuse me, some of the other teams, but it's a very good team. They're projected to finish in around the playoff spots, so top 3. It's very hard to get promoted in the two Bundesliga, but they're projected to be the 6th best team, and you need to get into those top 3 spots. It's definitely going to be possible. You have some good players here. Marcel Halstenberg is quite a beast for the two Bundesliga. So, can you get them promoted? Can you get glory to players? A lot of big names here, actually. They might be past it a bit, but Robert Zieler, a very good goalkeeper. Halstenberg, as I showed you. They got some young talents here. Look at this guy, 18 years old, looks like a beast. So this team is pretty much ready to do better than they should be doing in real life. Is there anything in the club vision? Just also signed German players. Here's the one that I remembered to talk about. So they're looking to sell the team. Martin Kind, very kind man apparently, is looking to get rid of the club. So you might, I believe they have elections in Germany, so you might get something interesting. Perhaps a new president comes in and says, we're going to sign you this guy, and this guy. So that's something to consider. But yeah, play entertaining football, and sign German players is favored. It's not required like in Kaiserslautern, but it could be an interesting challenge to add to your thing as well. So yeah, they expect you to get promoted probably relatively soon, but it's not clear depending on what kind of owner you get. That's kind of the fun here. Perhaps you get somebody super ambitious. Perhaps you get somebody like the Glazers that don't really care. So Hanover, the challenge, get them promoted ASAP. Last but not least, actually we got 2 more. We got Fortuna Düsseldorf. So Fortuna Düsseldorf has a fantastic fan base, 54,000-seater stadium. Now this is a team that's been, I believe they folded. I could be wrong. I don't remember what happened to them. I don't know why they ended up down here because, as you can see, they won the Bundesliga before. But I forgot to check what happened here. But recently they did make it to the Bundesliga in 2019, but most of their time has been spent here in the 2 or the 3 Bundesliga. So they've been stuck here. They've been close to getting promoted. They almost just barely missed out on promotion last season. I believe they lost in the playoffs to Bochum. And so, can you do better? They have some interesting Icelandic talents here. That's pretty cool. They have a very solid right back here. And they've got Isak Johansson, who looks like an absolute beast, 20 years old, 19 caps for Iceland. So this team is very good. Financially wise, you're not having a lot of money to spend. That's not bad because you have no debt. You're expecting the top half, and that's definitely achievable. You're the 5th best team. Honestly, could be pushing for that promotion, but as we can see, look at all these teams we've just been talking about here. This 2 Bundesliga is stuck with huge teams. A newly relegated side is expected to finish 8th. That's just how many big clubs have been down here. So, what can you do? Can you get them up there? Can you get them back? Can you win their first Bundesliga trophy since 1934 or whatever it was? Quite crazy. Bonus points if you get to win that title before 2034, and you get it within 100 years. So, Fortuna Düsseldorf, my final but not final pick. And finally, the actual last pick is FC Nuremberg. Interesting team. They're kind of struggling in real life. I think they're near mid-table or bottom half of the league. They're managed by Miroslav Klose, a German legend. But Nuremberg has some issues. First, we can see that this is about 9 Bundesliga winning team a long time ago. But this is a very historical club, lots of trophies. 4-time Pokal winner. And they have been interesting. They haven't made Europe in a while. They made it 2007, they made it in 2010, but they've been relegated a few times here. And last relegation came in 2019 after being promoted, and they've been kind of stuck down here. The problem is they have insecure finances. It's not as bad as Schalke by any means, but it's not good. They're in debt. They're going to keep losing money because they have debt here as well. And so the club vision is going to make you work within that wage budget because of that debt. and they want you to sign younger players. As you can see, the team is quite free of signing players from all over the world. We have Brazilians, we have Japanese players, Azerbaijani people. So this team is not as strict as some of the other ones, but you have less money to work with. Some big names to work with to that fight for promotion. Robert Knock, playing for the 2 Bundesliga after being at Wolfsburg for ages and some time in Union Berlin. Still quite young. Some young players as well to work with. We got Stefanos Timas on loan. Perhaps he has a 17.75 million optional future fee. Optimistic. I'm afraid I don't think you're going to have money to buy him, even if you get promoted. So this is quite a good team. There's no reason they should be down here. Just their finances have been causing problems. So can you get them promoted into the Bundesliga? 50,000 capacity stadium. This is my final pick. Yeah, lots of big clubs in the 2 Bundesliga. That's the summary here. That's 8 of them that I showed you here today. So perfect for those looking to do a save. Get some glory to those teams who have had it in the past. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and comment. If you're enjoying this, subscribe. Let me know what kind of clubs I should talk about, where I should go next. Bye-bye.